This content is not legal, tax, or financial advice. Now, let's open the file.
By the time Victor's case moved deeper into collections, the original problem had multiplied. There was the unpaid income tax. There were penalties. There was interest. There was the $5,000 frivolous filing penalty. There were unfiled or questionable years behind it. And there was Victor's growing stack of hostile letters. The next notice warned of possible enforcement action. Victor called it paper terrorism. Elena called it the mortgage money. The house changed. Mail became dangerous. Phone calls became dangerous. Victor started sleeping badly. He checked the driveway at night. He put folders by the door labeled evidence. Then one morning, a card was left at the house. A business card from a revenue officer. Elena found it tucked into the front door. Victor stared at it. For the first time, he did not speak. A revenue officer meant the case had become more serious. Not just letters, not just automated notices. A person had been assigned. Someone local. Someone whose job was to secure compliance and collect the debt. "Call them," Victor whispered. "No." "Victor, no." "Then I will." His head snapped up. "You will not." She looked at him, exhausted. "We are losing our life because of YouTube videos." He held up the card. "This is proof they're scared." Elena's eyes filled with tears. "No, this is proof they found you." Two days later, the revenue officer returned. Victor watched from the living room window as the car pulled up. Plain car. No flashing lights. No dramatic entrance. Just a person with a badge, a folder, and a job to do. The doorbell rang. Victor didn't move. Elena whispered, "Answer it." He opened the door halfway. The woman on the porch was calm, professional, and unreadable. "Mr. Hale?" "Who's asking?" "My name is Denise Carter. I'm a revenue officer with the Internal Revenue Service." Victor smiled without warmth. "I don't consent to contract with you." Denise did not blink. "I'm here regarding your outstanding federal tax liabilities and filing compliance." "I don't recognize your authority." "I understand that is your position." "You understand nothing." Elena appeared behind him. "Can we talk inside?" Victor turned. "Elena." She ignored him. Denise said, "I can speak with you here, or we can schedule a meeting. I'm here to discuss what needs to be done to resolve the account." Victor crossed his arms. "You're trespassing." Denise remained calm. "I'm leaving my contact information and a deadline. You need to contact me by the date listed. Failure to respond may result in enforced collection action." Victor laughed. "Threats." Denise handed him a sealed envelope. "Information." He refused to take it. Elena reached around him and took it. Denise looked at Victor. "Mr. Hale, this will not go away because you disagree with it." For the first time, Victor had no response. Denise walked back to her car. Victor slammed the door. Elena opened the envelope. Inside was a list. Financial information needed, tax years at issue, a request for unfiled returns or corrected returns, payment options, deadlines. Victor stared at the pages like they were written in another language. Elena said softly, "This is what we have to do." He whispered, "No." But it didn't sound like defiance anymore. It sounded like fear. Welcome to Behind the Scenes. What Collections wants a revenue officer is not assigned just to argue. Collections wants answers to basic questions. Where are the missing returns? How much does the taxpayer owe? Can they full pay? If not, can they make payments? Do they qualify for another resolution? Are they refusing to cooperate? Victor thought the IRS wanted his surrender. But what they actually wanted was compliance. File the correct returns. Stop sending frivolous arguments. Provide financial information. Set up a way to address the debt. But Victor had spent months turning every door into a wall. And now, Collections was running out of patience. Victor joined a private online call that night. 6 squares on a screen. 6 men telling each other they were free. Victor explained the visit. A man named Roland shook his head. That wasn't a revenue officer. That was a corporate agent. Another man said, "You need to file a lien against her personally." Elena stood in the hallway listening. Her stomach turned. Victor asked, "What about the $5,000 penalty?" Roland leaned closer to the camera. "That means you're over the target." Victor wanted to believe him. The phrase felt good. Over the target. Like he was dangerous. Like he was winning. Then Roland said, "Send them a notice of default. Give them 10 days to prove jurisdiction." Victor nodded. Elena walked into the room. Enough. The men on the screen went silent. Victor turned. "Elena, not now." She pointed at the laptop. "These people are not going to pay our bills." Roland smirked. "Ma'am, with respect. Fear is how they control," Elena snapped. "No. With respect, you don't live here. Don't embarrass me." She laughed once, bitterly. "Embarrass you? Victor, there is a federal employee coming to our house because you mailed nonsense to the IRS." His face flushed. "It's not nonsense." "Then why is it costing us everything?" No one spoke. Victor closed the laptop. But the damage was done. Not to his theory. To his marriage. The next notice came certified. Victor refused delivery. Elena drove to the post office and picked it up anyway. This one was different. It warned that the IRS intended to levy bank accounts, wages, certain income sources. Victor read the word levy and finally sat down. Elena watched him. He looked older. "What does levy mean?" he asked, though he already knew enough to be afraid. "It means they can take money." He shook his head. "No." "Yes." He stood up, pacing. "They can't just take it. They've been warning you for months." He pointed at her. "Don't side with them." "I'm siding with reality." Victor grabbed his keys. "Where are you going?" "To see someone who understands this." He drove to a meeting at the back room of a diner 27 miles away. 10 people sat in folding chairs. A man at the front sold binders for $199. The binder was called the Freedom Defense Packet. Victor bought one. Inside were templates, affidavits, declarations, threat letters, fake legal language, and one page titled, "How to Stop an IRS Levy Immediately." Victor felt hope again. False hope is still hope when you are desperate. The next morning, he mailed more documents. This time, he included a request for a collection hearing filled with arguments about sovereignty, consent, and jurisdiction. He thought it would stop everything. Instead, he risked making it worse. Behind the scenes. Why frivolous collection requests can backfire. Taxpayers may have rights during collections. They may be able to request hearings. They may raise legitimate issues. They may discuss payment options. They may challenge certain procedural problems. But when a taxpayer uses the process only to repeat frivolous arguments, delay collection, or refuse basic tax law, the IRS can treat that very differently. A collection request based on fake legal theories may not protect the taxpayer the way they think it does. And certain frivolous submissions can trigger the same type of $5,000 penalty problem. Victor believed every form was a shield. But some forms, when misused, become evidence. It happened on a Monday. Victor's debit card declined at a gas station. He tried again. Declined. He cursed at the pump, went inside, and the clerk tried it there. Declined. Victor drove home furious, blaming the machine. Elena met him at the door with her phone in her hand. The bank called. His body went cold. She continued. There's a levy. The room tilted. Victor drove to the bank. The branch manager used a gentle voice which made everything worse. I'm sorry, Mr. Hale. We're required to comply. With who? With the levy. Victor leaned forward. That money is mine. I understand. No, you don't understand. This is unlawful. I can give you the contact information listed on the levy. He slammed his hand on the desk. I want my money. The manager flinched. Security looked over. Victor saw it then, not fully. Just a crack in the wall. The bank was not joining his fight. The manager was not impressed by his binder. The debit card did not care about his theories. By the time he got home, Elena was sitting at the kitchen table with every IRS letter arranged in date order. She had done what Victor refused to do. She had built the timeline, and the timeline was devastating. Letter, warning, deadline, response, penalty, revenue officer, deadline, levy warning, levy, no ambush, no mystery, just consequences. Victor stood in the doorway. Elena did not look up. I called a tax professional. His voice was low. You did what? I called someone who knows what they're doing. We can't afford that. She finally looked at him. We can't afford you.